Hey, welcome to the Playbook. We got a special edition to this episode. I have to say, it is a very, very high episode. And Hey, welcome to the Playbook. We got a special edition to this episode. I have to say, it is a very, very high episode. And by high, I mean highly educated, because we have my wife, Noemi, who has a master's degree. We have Doc, which we all know has a PhD. And we have Uhuru with the MD. And me bringing up the rear with just a regular bachelor's. We're going to talk about our cruise experiences. Hey, Doc, what you got for us?
What's up? What's up? Yeah, so like E said, we have two very special guests that have been mentioned on the show numerous times in the past, but we actually know not quite as many times as Shaka Brown, but we've mentioned both of our wonderful spouses numerous times, and they've never shown up, so people know we have spouses that don't follow us on social media, so they do exist. We have Dr. Uhuru Smith, my sweetie pie, a.k.a. Puddin'. And then, now the whole world knows their nickname.
Oh, goodness.
And then we have Noemi, who is E's wonderful wife, and we like I said, we're blessed to have them here with us today. It's two special guests.
Yes.
And so we're going to actually talk about something fun today. Been trying to get them on here to talk about different things.
It was just a matter of lining up the time, like the schedules, because they were so eager to get on the show. I mean, like we had to tell them, like, not this week, next week. And finally we lined up the weeks, and they're like, yes, we're able to get on the show. And so here they are.
Oh gosh. So what we want to talk about this week, we thought we'd let them ease them in gently. Is a light topic, but it's fun, and it'll be informative for everybody, hopefully, that watches. A lot of our friends are regular cruisers or considering cruising or occasional cruisers. But either way, cruise vacations are very, very popular, and we know a lot of people that do it. So we have a cruise group that we cruise at least once a year together. This year it's going to be 2 cruises together.
For years.
But we've been doing that for years. Darlene Balducci Perry and Brian Perry are also part of our cruise group. Shout out to those guys. They actually got married on a cruise ship, and we did their wedding cruise, which was kind of cool as well. So we have a long standing history of cruising. The 4 of us together just recently, along with Darlene and Brian and Art and Katisha and Ed and Shiloh, and who else was with us on this last cruise?
Oh my God, there was like 12 of us. It was like all our family. Mm-hmm. So Mama Linda, Katrina. Exactly.
Yeah. So we had a cruise. We had about
12. There was 12 of us.
12 of us, and we went on the Royal Caribbean Icon of the Seas, the largest cruise ship in the world right now currently.
Yeah, which is the equivalent of a country on the water, is it not, Doc?
It is. It's huge. It's huge. So we just wanted to talk a little bit about the Icon of the Seas and get their professional input, or not professional input, about some of the pros and the cons of the ship, what we liked, what we didn't like, so you guys can kind of know, and maybe we'll talk a little bit about a couple of the other cruise ships that we've been on or that we're considering to go on. So, we'll maybe be able to give some good information for the cruisers or potential cruisers out there. So what'd you guys think of the Icon? Puddin'?
Oh, pressure. I loved it. I had a great time, but I think I was maybe a combination of exhausted and so ready to just relax.
Yep.
And also I was psychologically prepared for the fact that there were going to be a lot of children on the cruise, maybe more so than other people were. Hint.
I wasn't ready, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, he wasn't ready. I was kind of ready, although I really was kind of frustrated and annoyed with like some of the games of football in the and near the elevator banks.
Right.
Meaning soccer. Sorry. Yeah, that was irritating.
Hey, what were your thoughts on the cruise? What was your overall opinion of the Icon of the Seas?
I think the ship definitely very impressive from the moment you walk in because of the size. It was known that there was going to be a lot of stuff. I watched a lot of YouTube videos prior to going on this cruise just to make sure that I was ready for it. I do have to admit, I did not expect to see as many kids. The kids have never really bothered me as much as it did on this particular cruise, just because they were in all the space that adults were at. As you know, people that we don't have any little kids anymore. I guess in the past we've been able to get around the ship and see them around just like normal, but just not to this extent where you're trying to dance and you have these little ones in the middle of the dance floor, the elevator. I mean, just everywhere you looked, no matter what time.
Yeah, I think the dancer's perspective is something that I lack. So that's important to point out, is that every time you guys wanted to go and dance, like in the evening in an adult area, you know, the kids were, you know, going up to the musicians and kind of going over the you know, the line, so to speak. And, you know, that I wasn't there for a lot of that, but I'm sure that was very frustrating. For me, you know, we went to the jazz club down in Central Park, which was, I mean, Central Park is like my happy place. And this Central Park was just beautiful. I literally, every single time I had to go anywhere on the ship, I had to cross over to the other side of the ship. I would get off on the 8th floor in Central Park and use the Central Park walkway as the area to cross over to the other side of the ship, because it was just so serene and so beautiful. And there was a jazz club off of Central Park that came alive at night. I mean, amazing musicians. And it was really, really irritating that there were kids like doing cartwheels and playing in the jazz club. I mean, this is supposed to be like a grown and sexy venue. And, you know, here you have kids doing cartwheels in front of, you know, the bass player. I mean, talk about ruining a vibe.
Yeah, and I think, like, but Noemi and I, we have a teenager, and she's gone with us on plenty of cruises, so we're not strangers to having kids or anything like that. However, I think everything that you two said is very true. The kids were in every space, and they were not acting appropriate to what that space was designated for, which I think was the issue. If the kids were in the kids' hall, or if the kids, you know, weren't playing football while people are exiting the elevator or doing cartwheels in front of the bass player at a jazz club, then it would be cool. But that's what happened. So just that's one of the, I think, the detractors of that ship is just I think it's the parents. The parents didn't have control of the kids. They just let them go, and they were doing their own thing. So
so there were some parents that weren't parenting. So yeah, I mean, so we'll just wrap up this. You know, I don't want to beat a dead horse about the kids. So this is I think that was the biggest negative for all of us. Having cruised a lot of cruises, a lot of different cruise lines, Royal Caribbean seems to have more kids that are kind of obtrusive, or they're inserted into areas where they should not be. But this was the kind of the worst of it, in a way where, you know, it's kind of cool. I always thought, man, I wish we cruised when I was a kid, like here, and when we used to cruise on Carnival before. That's another discussion before it declined enough to be a little bit more ratchet than you want to deal with. Like sometimes it used to be the great cruise. Carnival used to be the bomb, but like not really our cup of tea anymore. But like the kid spaces were so cool. I'm like, I wish when I was a teenager, when I was Katrina's age, when she first started cruising with us or whatever, that I could go on a cruise, because it's like kid nightclubs, kid this, kid that, so many cool things for the kids to do, you know. And because there are so many things for the kids to do, that is like makes it less acceptable that kids are everywhere else in adult spaces. Like you guys were saying, you know, we go to Boleros to dance. The only thing I will say about that is we talk about the clubs, but the actual club at night didn't have any younger kids in it, but they were also not really doing a great job of making sure everybody in there was drinking age, because that's what Celebrity typically does, and it's the same parent company as Royal Caribbean. Carnival used to do that. Like if you go into the club at night when it's club music and it's adult club, they're going to check and make sure everybody's 21 or 18 or whatever. They didn't really do that as far as we could see. They just let anybody wander in. I didn't see any little kids in the club, but there were little kids in spaces kicking around soccer balls. Like I said, there were little kids in all the adult spaces, in addition to the kid spaces, not being supervised by their parents, who just seemed oblivious to how that was impacting everybody else's cruise. So,
there is one other negative, though, that really stood out to me on this cruise compared to, you know, we had been on the Oasis, we've been on the, you guys are going to have to help me here.
All right, which one? Which line?
The Royal Caribbeans. We've been on a lot
Icon of the Seas.
We've been on, that was it.
And Wonder of the Seas.
Wonder, yes. So the last one we did was the Wonder. And I have to say I was really surprised because we did a junior suite with the sunset view, so it was like at the very end of the ship.
Which
Beautiful
was
view,
beautiful.
amazing, gorgeous balcony and gorgeous views. We really enjoyed the outside space a lot, like every single day, all the time. We would sit out there, but the closet space and the drawer space, oh my
Really?
goodness,
It was pretty bad.
It was pretty bad, yeah. And I mean, I know we packed kind of a lot of stuff, but still, I mean, the closet was probably the same width as these two chairs for both of us.
For both of us, yeah. And like the Wonder of the Seas, like we've had some really cool suites with some great closet space, and like everything we brought, we had more than enough room for it. The Wonder of the Seas, we had a ton of room. So that's the other negative that I was going to bring up as I went. It was on my list to bring up. But yeah, the closet space in the suite was not great. And okay, the big negative we talked about, the kids. So people leave your kids in kid spaces or leave them at home or teach them some etiquette or something like that if you're going to bring them, please, and don't screw up everybody else's cruise experience. And if you guys have been on any of the Carnival cruise or the Royal Caribbean cruises, the bigger ships, because it seemed like because the Icon is bigger than the Oasis. The Oasis class, it has Central Park, but in its same venues, but it didn't seem like the kids were quite as bad on that. What do you think, Noemi? Do you remember in your experience? You remember on the
Wonder.
Oasis? No, the Oasis.
And the Oasis, yeah, the Wonder and the Oasis, those were the
Same
same
size, yeah.
I'd say that I have never seen as many kids as I did
On the
this
Icon,
cruise,
right?
On the Icon, and I don't know if it is because they were not tracking the areas where they should be at, or what they should be doing in regards to security, or it was just that the ship really draws a lot more families with small kids because of all the activities upstairs, or not upstairs, but in the top deck with the water and stuff like that. So it's difficult because the ship is beautiful. It has so much to do. Now, again, maybe some of us are very different than others. Even in the group of 12, we have some that are very adventurous. They want to do every single activity that's in the cruise ship.
Darlene.
And they're just go, 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 go. Anything risky, anything fun, we'll do it. And there's those of us that really take a cruise to just kind of rest, want to have a nice dinner, want to go out and dance, want to drink, and so it's very difficult, I think, for them to manage that, or maybe they needed to put a little bit more emphasis in enforcing some of the areas to make it so that everybody can be happy within a small space.
Right.
But it's tough.
And this is the last thing we'll say about this, and we'll move on to the next topic, which is maybe have a video or something that says, hey, keep your kids under control in so many nice words or whatever, or this will happen in XYZ. So I got a question for Uhuru, because we talk about this every time when we go on to a cruise. What is cruise mode for you?
Oh, cruise mode. I would just say just totally letting go of everything that is here on Earth.
Yeah.
For me, there's something about cruising that is just a really relaxing vacation that's like no other vacation that we do. And I mean, we've tried, we have a membership with LeBlanc Resorts. We've tried that. We did that during COVID. We've done the Caribbean. We do Europe, obviously, which isn't very relaxing, but we try to make it relaxing as much as we can. We did Dubai this year and Singapore. We do a lot of stuff, and we try to schedule in that time to relax. But to me, there's nothing like getting on that ship, and it just feels like literally every stressor falls off your body. It's like the rest of the world disappears for me. And I think that most of the people in our cruise crew, like when they try the cruise crew for the first time and they come, they're like sold because they feel it too. And so for me, I think that's what cruise mode is just feeling the rest of the world just sort of fade away and being on this little self-contained city where you don't have to think about anything. You don't have to think about eating healthy. And that's one thing I was going to say about Royal Caribbean is they do healthy extremely well. And, we eat really healthy. We try to eat very clean. And there's just tons and tons of fresh, clean food, clean water. You can refill your water bottle. You can order water to the room, bottled water. The gym is amazing. We do the gym every day. They have yoga, which you can do. They have acupuncture. All the things that I do at home, which is, yoga, acupuncture, eat clean, massage therapy, lymphatic drainage, like all those things that I do in my regular routine to try to stay healthy. All of those things are available to you on the Royal Caribbean line of cruising. So that's cruise mode for me.
How about you, Mama? What's cruise mode?
Pretty close to Hudo. I think that's why she understands me and I understand her.
Yes.
I do a little bit more dancing than she does, and I do stay up a little bit later than she does. That's sort of my thing. But I think it's that. It's just that anywhere else that you go on vacation, you have to plan, where are you going to eat? What are you going to eat? How do you feel? Whereas here is, hey, listen, we know what time dinner is scheduled at. If you make it, you make it. If you don't, you don't. Figure out what you're doing if you're not doing that. So it's just really relaxed. You don't have to think about what to do. I think my job, I have to think every moment almost of the day. So when I go on cruising, just not having that and just relaxing. I know for some people it might be frustration because they're like, you come to a cruise and you pay all this money and you're not doing anything. You're just taking a nap or you're just not coming out and doing anything.
Exactly. You're taking a nap without having to worry about. I mean, both of you have demanding real life jobs, and it's it's understandable.
So I would say that.
And housekeeping twice a day.
Yes.
Yeah.
With towel animals, which makes
Towel
sense.
animals.
Beautiful
and
pictures.
24-hour room service.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you really don't have to worry about anything.
Nothing. Yeah.
Doc, cruise mode for you, man.
Man, I kind of, being retired now, but sometimes being more busy in my retirement than I am when I'm working. For me, cruise mode is it doesn't take me as long to get into cruise mode as it does them, and but I'm not like the whole Darlene. I want to like zip line on the cruise and stuff like that and get off every exit. It's a point now. A lot of times that people will know. Friends out there will say we're going on a cruise and they'll say where you cruising. I'm like, I don't know, because we more so go to enjoy the experience, like she said, so she can decompress and get away, to hang out with you guys, our friends. To try out to check out the new ships that we try to do, as they come out. So, for me, it's kind of like when I get on there, it's like, okay, cool, the rest but it takes me about 15 minutes and I'm just trying to figure out what's what on the ship and explore everything and whatever. Now, the only other negative I'll have, and it's a quasi-negative, well, two things, but we'll talk. One's only really the gym. I know we went to the gym most every day.
Yeah.
The gym on this ship, on the Icon, there are a couple of things, and we'll just talk a little bit about the difference between the Icon and the Oasis, both big ships. Central Park, she mentioned Central Park. If you haven't been on the Icon or Oasis class, it's a replica of Central Park in New York that's in the middle of the ship. It's amazing, beautiful space with trees and birds and shopping around the outside, and it's just so pretty and serene to walk through, to be able to go through. So much like she said, when she had to walk from the front to the back of the ship, instead of staying on the deck that she needed to be on or whatever, she would drop down and walk through Central Park and come back up. So Central Park is on both of them. The gyms, they changed the gyms between the Oasis and the Icon class to where most of the ship gyms, and if you guys have cruised before as well, the ship gyms are usually very, very pretty and have a view off the front or the back of the ship, right? With all glass while you're doing your cardio, you can look at the ocean. The gym in the Icon felt like a gym, a really nice Bally's or LA Fitness or whatever. Gym is going off this morning. They got Craig Mack. Let's go get this workout in, baby. It didn't have as many views of the outside of the water. It felt like you were in any gym anywhere. And I didn't like that as much. I know it didn't bother him as much. I know you said he liked it.
Oh, no. It was perfect. Like, it literally felt like I was at LA Fitness. Let's go ahead and get to.
Okay, so Ed and I are in here. Look at that, the gun show. He's pumping it up. That's how Playbook does it, baby. Even on vacation, on cruises, we're in here getting it in.
Yeah, exhausting.
That's right. All right, yeah, don't always stay on the grind. Stay on your grind, baby. So you too can grow up and look like that.
Work, except for, you had some people that wanted to talk on the machines and not do anything, blah, blah, blah. But they did have a track that went around the entire ship. And what was it, a half a mile?
Quarter mile track, I think.
Quarter mile track. And once you got to a certain point, there was the ocean. So that, I guess it made up for that. It was actually a beautiful run. I only did one lap, but that was enough.
I didn't see that part of the
Yeah.
cruise ship.
Neither. Well, I kind of saw like a quarter of the quarter mile.
Yeah. So well, and that's the. So you also she also mentioned like spas. Like so, Uhura and I are big spa people in land and sea, and so we have screwed
And air.
and air. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And we've actually, I will another shout out to Carnival, so they don't think I'm just bashing them because we used to love them. Carnival came out with a Cloud9 spa on their ships.
Yeah.
Even to date, like between Celebrity, Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, no one spa, the actual spa facility, has been really as nice as the Cloud9 spa on Carnival. It's just unfortunate that when we first went on them, the therapists were really good, and it seemed like the quality of the therapist declined. Now, the quality of the therapist on the Royal Caribbean and their celebrities, their sister, is phenomenal. I think. Would you think? I know you guys got some massages and stuff too, right?
Yeah.
The massage, the spa's not as lavish.
Yeah, the spa, left a little bit. Like I like to use the thermal suites typically, and I know in the past we've gotten the rooms that are the spa rooms, or we've purchased the week-long pass. And this time I went to go and look at the facilities to decide whether or not I wanted to purchase the week-long pass, and I was like, "Where's the rest of it?" And they were like, "No, this is it." And I was like, "Ooh, no bueno."
Yeah, what do you guys think? I know you guys did some spa stuff.
Well, I got a massage on like the last day.
Hey Ed, what's up?
Ed, I was so bad.
Nice try, man. You forget, bro. Doctor of psychology,
You should have
profiler,
told me he was a doctor.
and a profiler.
And
Yeah,
a profiler.
it didn't
Couldn't
work
give me
out.
an heads up, Ed.
But it was fun anyway, though. She
We've
gave it a
still got one
valiant.
to go.
She got a valiant effort. Yeah.
No, let's do that.
So it
got
was
a
good.
couple,
Like
eh?
the biggest thing for me for the cruise was just like we spoke of. It was relaxing. I sat on the balcony for half of the cruise and had an
Yeah.
amazing time.
Me too.
It was great. And that's all I needed because I run a company. I needed to get away from everything. So everything was good. The spa was icing on the cake at the end.
This has been one of my favorite places on the ship because this will be my fourth massage today. Spent quite a bit of time in the spa. It's a really nice spa. Let's check it out. Great staff too, amazing staff, and great therapists.
How about you? No, I mean.
It was great. I think the therapy, I was thinking I'm just going to get one massage, and then it was so good that I had to book the other one. I was like, and then I felt guilty, and I said, I better give one to my husband too. So I booked one for him. So I did my candid wife. Great.
There you go.
Outstanding. You're looking out for E so he could get his massage in.
I loved it. I think they're top notch. As somebody that gets regular massages here, I have to say that I was very impressed with her performance.
Okay, so I got a question for you. In all of cruise history with us four, what was the best party experience?
La Vista, the Vista ship on Carnival. Is that what you're
Carnival,
talking
yeah,
about?
the old school Carnival
Yes,
before it
the
got
old
ratchet.
school.
What-
It was brand new at that point. It was like the newest ship at that moment.
Is
and
that the one that we?
never
What's the
gonna
one that we
forget.
went on New Year's
That was
Eve though?
that was
No, I think
that
the New
wasn't-
Year's was Oasis, right?
And I think it was Carnival.
Okay.
Because we went on Oasis.
Was that
I
where I
think
cut
after
my
it.
foot?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, and it was a bad omen because that was
You were
New Year's
partying so hard.
2020, and we all know what happened 2020. So it's just
Yeah.
a bad omen.
Maybe it was like Uhura's foot was like Groundhog Day. Like if had she not cut her foot, there wouldn't have been a worldwide pandemic.
Maybe.
I don't know. But like, yeah, we were having a great time on New Year's Eve, amazing New Year's Eve party, and somebody had a broken
Glass or
glass or
bottle.
bottle, and she stepped
I had
on it.
sandals on.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
her sandals and cut her foot really bad. Fortunately, she brings as a good physician, she brings enough stuff with her to do minor surgery on a ship. So she like went back to the room and stitched it up or something herself,
Like a G.
something crazy like that.
And came back out like
Yeah,
I'm good.
and came back out to finish
Do
the
your
rest
own
of the party.
stitches. Crazy.
Soldiered up. That's how we roll in.
I did. I think I threw a stitch in it.
Crazy.
Yeah, so
We were just talking about the Vista. The Vista was an amazing time because they had the big atrium.
Can't even get away from the bounce on a Carnival ship on New Year's Eve. They bounce. Oh, they trying to back it up. Back it up.
which had like 3 or 4 levels. And
Yeah.
they threw an all-white party, and everybody was in all-white.
Yeah.
And they had the blue lights, and they had,
The old school carnival knew how to throw a party.
oh my gosh, they had
There's
people,
been nothing like that since.
nothing.
And that
People
was-
singing and dancing on the counters,
Yeah.
on the bars and everything, and
Yeah.
the whole shit was
Was
rocking.
that the print? Was the thing where
That was Vista with your
That
with
was
your boy.
oh yes yeah where with the prince.
that?
Huh?
Purple.
Prince was the at the New Year's trip because it was
Yeah, that's the
semi-empty.
same one, yeah.
No, but Vista wasn't Vista before because Vista was packed and New Year's
Oh,
was empty.
okay.
But
cruised a lot.
I know it was a carnival though because I
Yeah.
think that was the one that Matt was the
cruise director?
cruise
Exactly.
director.
She's gonna
And-
say she remember. All the ladies remember Matt.
Yeah.
I only remember because
I don't even remember what it looks like, but I think they do.
Blown away. You were stealing his thunder.
I follow him on Instagram, and one of these days I put something on one of the pictures he put up, and something about a cruise, and he's like, "Oh, how I missed it," and I'm like, "Oh, you were like the best cruise director."
This
and
guy
he's like,
was-
"I know," and then he responded, and I felt like my whole year had
Was
been
made.
made.
So Matt was a great cruise director, and the ladies found him like not unattractive to look at either. He kind of looked like a
He's all right.
yeah, he's like a British guy, but he was a fantastic dude, hilarious, British guy. And that's the other thing I will say about Carnival. No one has had cruise directors consistently like Carnival has.
Yeah,
Carnival's cruise directors, they match up with the fun ship and bring the heat.
they did. They're not the fun ship anymore. They're like Carnival 2.0 now.
Yeah,
Carnival
now you
Walmart.
see, now that's where you see all the
Yeah.
videos of people fighting and
Yeah.
the security struggling
They
to
should
break
have
in.
called it Carnival 0.5.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so we kind of
Sorry.
left the Carnival alone for now. Royal Caribbean's kind of our go-to. So another thing we're talking about. So on Carnival, what's the name of the club on Carnival, the Latin club? That's really actually Havana.
Havana.
Club. So that actually is nicer than Boleros.
Yeah.
Boleros on Royal Caribbean is nice, but it's just, especially since like on the Havana Club, there were no kids in it
Yeah.
at night, and in the Boleros, people's kids were running around in between you on the dance floor. But Boleros on the Icon was much worse than on the Oasis.
Yeah.
And they had less live music. The band always really, really good. Now, when we start to hit the high points, that we talk about. The bands are phenomenal. The musicians on Royal Caribbean
Absolutely.
are phenomenal.
Oh, and the
Absolutely.
The
shows.
shows, that's what I was going to say. We're going to hit the shows next. We are phenomenal. I've seen shows on Broadway, off Broadway, that they duplicated on Royal Caribbean ships, and they were just as good or better on Royal Caribbean, and I'm not exaggerating that. The Wizard of Oz, which was amazing on this ship, we all actually dressed up like characters from The Wiz,
We did.
and the cast and crew loved it, so that was kind of fun,
was
too.
fun.
I was Oz, you were Dorothy, and
Tin
you
Man.
were
Tin Man.
the Tin Man.
The sexy Tin Man with the silver shiny stuff.
Yeah, I saw guys walking around. Hey, ma'am, can I offer you some WD-40? You know. So but it was we had a blast. The shows are amazing, always the most amazing. Because that's the thing. Carnival used to have really good shows at the beginning,
Right.
and then when their budget, like you could tell, got cut, they kind of kept the production value, but they try to have people singing and dancing that weren't double or triple threats.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and then and that's the thing. Like I
You'd
said,
see him like working in the gym as the Pilates instructor, and then they'd be like in the show. And you're like, oof.
yeah.
Oh,
So that.
So, but speaking of shows, I have to admit, I saw a doc put on one of the most amazing shows. It was in the atrium on a New Year's cruise, and they were playing some. What was it? It was
Purple
Purple
Rain.
Rain, exactly. Which, if you don't know, Prince is Doc's favorite artist, and the cruise director, he had a meet a mic, and I didn't know the words, and I was like, you got the wrong guy. Gave it to Tracy. And it was like putting, I don't know, it was like putting a coin in a machine or whatever. He just turned on, and that was it. He had 3 levels. He did a dance. He sang the song. He was into it. It was right at the end. Shut it down. He had 3 levels.
He did.
Standing applause.
awesome.
Yeah, insane.
And the thing I have to say, though, that reminds me of that also with Carnival is I feel like, and it's not like he did it because he was drunk, but what I will say is that because he's not a drinker, but the minute you walk on a Carnival ship, people are walking around with trays of cocktails.
Yeah.
And it just helps hammer home the cruise mode point that I was making
Yes.
earlier. Like
Exactly.
you step on the cruise and someone hands you a beautiful frozen cocktail and you're just like, okay, I'm here now.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, you need to implement
I
that on
was-
Royal Caribbean.
Drunk by
Yeah.
the time he was singing, yeah.
Yeah, that's
That was a great cruise. All our cruises have been great.
Tell him about the Pearl.
go ahead. Who?
Well, the Pearl was very beautiful. I will have to. It was big. I don't know how you would really use it other than maybe to take pictures. I love the different colors of it. I think it took a lot of room. Yeah, it looked like a pearl.
That you could walk through.
I just think it took so much room.
But it was a landmark, so everybody knew you could identify. Oh, we're going to meet you by the pearl.
In the center of the ship, deck 5, I believe, it was a big pearl that you could walk through. It had steps and cameras and everything with lights, and it made it look beautiful. So,
and I think it also had a structure. I saw something on the ship. It had some kind of structural value to the ship, or something or other. So it kept it from collapsing in the middle or something. So not only was it beautiful, it kept the ship afloat, I hear. I don't know, something like that.
And it had the 24-hour coffee shop.
That's what mattered. I think that's really
gosh,
what
they were like, that's the coffee
there
drinkers. Yeah, so the pearl, so that was,
So I got a question. Go ahead, Doc. You were going to say something?
Go ahead,
Hey, Doc, I'm going to start off with you, and then we're going straight down the line. Favorite excursion on the cruises that we've been on?
Lord.
That you actually went on?
Oh gosh, well I'm glad you started with me because shoot, I don't excursion as much anymore. Like we usually try to do, we may do the little, what do you call them, mini bikes or the little scooters or something like that around the city.
Go ahead. You got one, or should I jog your memory on some of them?
Most traumatic or most
traumatic.
or most fun.
Traumatic.
Let's go traumatic, and then then we'll come back to fun.
I remember.
I think it was all going to be the same for all of us. I think we're going to have to call out Darlene on this one again when we were in Aruba.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
Felt like we were in Iraq.
Yeah, and I had flashbacks from the war. We were in some kind of speed bus buggy thing, and I think that it was
I just remember at one point that somebody was like hanging.
That was me.
That was E.
That was me.
I think
I was hanging
hanging.
out. I was hanging
And your
out.
whole body
like
was
this.
out of the.
Yeah, and the car was going that way.
Sorry. Oh my God.
Yeah, we were on a rocky beach, so it was not like sand beach. It was rocks like you were in Iraq. And they were going like 50 miles an hour, and the course just went this way, that way, that way. And I was like,
jumping stuff. He was jumping dunes in this thing. I guess that Darlene's the only one who knew that it was like the.
I was so glad that none of you old military folks didn't have a breakdown or a flashback or something. I was like, oh my gosh.
I know Brian. Brian had some.
Brian had a moment or two.
Yeah, that was real.
Yeah.
My favorite. I know what my favorite
Go ahead.
was. I'm not sure if you guys were there, but we went to. We went on this ostrich farm tour where this new married couple.
Oh yeah.
Oh goodness. And they
they were there. They were there.
Oh
for
my
that
goodness! Remember they started fighting.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. They just got married.
And that was the one with the egg. The one was putting the egg, but like she had the dude turn and take a picture with the wife or something or whatever. And then she acted like he was pooping out an egg or something, like an ostrich egg. It was funny. It was in the picture.
That was also the one where the tour guy was flirting with you, I think.
Oh, yeah.
That's what he remembers. That should be his favorite.
Who, me? She was flirting with me?
Yeah.
I saw.
Good response.
I saw knowing his eyes turned black.
I was like, wait a minute.
I was
wait a
like,
minute.
oh Lord.
She's
News to me.
I didn't
bloody.
come this far to have this man taken from me. No.
He said what happened? She was
I said it's news to me. Go
I
ahead.
don't remember that at all. That's the proper response, sir. I'll take Alex. I'll have. I don't remember that at all. 4,000.
But the
please.
wife was like, I hate you. I'm sorry I came here with you.
Oh,
I
it
should
was
have never
bad.
married you. We were like, what?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, we were like, we thought it was like.
We thought they were.
They're playing at first,
Yeah.
right? And then I think he called her the B word, and she was like, "That's all right, because you're not coming." It was bad. It was one of
I'm not letting you back in the room.
in the room. I'm like, man, we started cruising together when we were dating. Our first cruise was after the salsa. The year that we performed at the Clavicazzi Shaka, again, shout out CK DC.
That continues the streak. Go on.
But we performed, and then she was still in med school, and then so she and I went on an Eastern Caribbean cruise out of Puerto Rico, and we didn't have the funds to do like a lavish suite or anything like that, and so we actually did a small room and had a great time, and we talked about how if you can be with somebody for a week, for 7 days in a little tiny cruise room and have a great time, then that's a good sign.
Yep.
Versus like going on your honeymoon and being in a cruise room and deciding you're going to call your new wife a B, and your wife's going to say she didn't want to marry you, she shouldn't have married you anyway, and you're not getting back in the room. That was ugly.
I hate you.
That was ugly work.
Yeah.
But yay.
No, I mean,
What about you?
You got a favorite? You got a favorite memory?
No, not at this time. I'm sorry. There's so many memories. Everything
So many
has
good
come through,
ones?
and you guys took my best ones.
Yeah,
So,
I got one. I got one.
What do you got? What do you have, E?
That one is when we went to Grand Turks, which we at this point we have been to Grand Turks so many times. Sorry, we're from Florida. We cruise, and
Right.
it was boring. But I believe it was Uhuru that said, "Hey, my friend told me to go to the spot." And
Oh, yeah.
and we hopped in a cab and we went to
Oh,
the
yeah.
spot. That was a great experience.
That was a great.
That was a
Yeah.
good one.
Yeah. It was just so many, like you said, so many great times, great memories, like you said, Noemi. So many good excursions. You know, some more traumatic than others, and some still very fun and relaxing. But so we will actually like a lot of times what we used to do though early on in our cruising. Is that we would actually, because the first time we ever went to Aruba was on a cruise. Now we've been back to Aruba twice just to visit Aruba. So that's the cool thing for people that are new cruisers. You can actually use it to recon places you haven't been and decide if you want to go back. Like we went to St. Martin on this last cruise again, but we went back to St. Martin one year with her girlfriends or from med school. They had a great time. You know, Katrina was kind of a star on the ship because we actually the Icon had never docked at the in Puerto
Ponce.
Rico at Ponce.
Ponce.
So
Ponce.
E and I we played some golf, which was cool. It was a beautiful golf course there. So we were there all day, long enough to get off. So E's getting 4 sleeves of balls. We'll see if that's enough with the ocean out there. She said he needed 8. What's up? This is Doc with the Playbook. We're down here in Ponce, Puerto Rico, about to tee it up. It's me and my man, E.
What's going on?
Yeah, so let's see if we shoot a decent round, and if we shoot a crap round, it's so beautiful. We'll have a good time shooting a crap round.
Okay.
Yeah. They went to a resort, and we got out and played golf, and then we met them back at the resort that had the pool, and it was on the ocean. But I guess the ship was, being the largest ship in the world, had never docked there before. Mm-hmm. And then Katrina was also able to do something for her academic stuff that was...
Yes, she had been looking into vet school and then also looking at undergraduate degrees that somewhat relate and can get her prepped to be accepted into vet school once she's done with her undergraduate. So she found out that Puerto Rico in the last couple of years became accredited in the U.S. and accepted as one of
Which
the
university?
vet schools. Ana Mendez.
Okay.
And so we went. They have a small campus in Ponce. And I was like, oh, my gosh, it happens to be that we are there. And they have the undergrad, which is a pre-vet degree in biology. So then we ended up going, and we had a great experience. They were very welcoming. It's a really nice, small school. And, had a great time. They were very, very nice.
So Doc, what were you saying happened?
Didn't they end up...
They ended up sending someone from the university to the resort where we were at to give Katrina something or like an appreciation thing for coming to the university, and she ended up on their social media page and everything. It's like she first time in Puerto Rico, she gets her picture taken. She's in the paper and she's on social media. I've been in Puerto Rico many times, and that's never happened.
Right,
So,
exactly. Or at least not for anything good that anybody could prove it was us. You know what I mean?
Well, it was because they were so excited, too, in Ponce to have the largest ship in the world, dock in their town. And they brought so much business. And so everybody was so happy. Like the amount of great customer service and love that you could feel from the people was fantastic. Where it's not overwhelming. Some countries you go, as Latina, I can speak to these. You go into Dominican Republic, you go into even NASA, you feel almost harassed when you get out of the ship. There was nothing like that. Everybody very respectful, had their, built their space in between you and them, but you still felt the love and the welcoming and how glad they were that we were there to help out their economy.
Yeah, they did a hell of a reception. They had a freaking marching band out there and a news crew and everything.
Yeah.
They were waiting for us, and everybody was super nice. I love going to Puerto Rico. Fajardo, Culebra, Vieques, Old San Juan, now Ponce. We went to the caves too, and El Junque and all that. Love it all. But this was a different experience. It was a hell of an experience. So it was great.
Yeah. So. Well, I don't know. Is there anything else anybody could think about that we didn't talk about on the Oasis or the Icon? that's noteworthy that we should mention for the
I
potential?
just want to say that the Wonder of the Seas was amazing. You know, we celebrated Katrina's, was it her 16th?
Yes.
Oh, that's the one where we
birthday?
went to Wonderland, right?
Yeah.
And it
To
had-
Wonderland.
Oh my gosh.
that was awesome.
Yeah, Wonderland was an experience.
Wonderland is like at one of the theme restaurants, and it's
Yeah.
like your Alice in Wonderland themed. But
And you guys all dressed up.
yeah, they
And,
dressed up like the characters from Alice in
Alice in
Wonderland.
Wonderland.
But and the Mad Hatter was
the Mad
was
Hatter.
hilarious. This guy needs his own sitcom.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's a star.
Shine bright like a diamond. Every time I hear a song about it.
I can't, yeah.
Loved it. Loved
Can't
it. Loved
unhear
it.
that.
Great memory. How could I have forgotten about
Yeah,
that?
and Katrina dressed up like Alice, and the whole
Yes.
night the Mad Hatter was calling her Alice. It was, it was a lot of fun.
Super cute.
Yeah. So if you haven't gone cruising before, make sure you book your trip and make sure you do it wisely. Do some research and make sure you book the cruise line that fits your personality, because otherwise you'll be stuck on that ship for a while.
It's true. It's
And
true.
it may not be fun. But we got to thank our lovely guests for joining us. I mean, we had to. I don't know, twist their arms and
Bribe
pay
with
some-
food and alcohol.
Exactly.
Right, yeah.
In order to get on here. But hey, they were good sports and we appreciate them sharing some time with us. We'll catch you on the next episode. And while you're here, take a look at some of the older ones. Until the next time, this is Ed and we are the Playbook.
Make sure you like and subscribe, baby. Peace.
Thank you.